There's always more to a story. When you watch TV news, they'll call it in-depth investigation. Yours truly just considers it a normal course of business. That's certainly the case with actor Jesse Smollett, and that's what we're going to talk about on this edition of Simon Says. I'm glad you're back for another episode. I'm Scott Simon, Simon Says. And I've taken my time publishing this episode. The reason why is there's more to it than just the actor himself, Jesse Smollett. Of course, we all know what he's done, and just to simply summarize, it's this. He's accused of creating 2 hate crimes. Or, if you want to be more blunt, he's accused of faking 2 hate crimes against him. But let's go more into Jesse Smollett. Every time there's a news story involving something spectacular, I like to look into someone's background. It's easy to do now on the internet. You can go to Wikipedia and several other research sites. I didn't know anything about Jesse Smollett. Never really heard of him. I knew about the television show he's on, Empire. And I knew a lot about the main actor in that, but I didn't know anything about Jesse Smollett, his role in the show, or his career. And what I found out is that he grew up as a normal kid. His mom and dad stayed together. I'll talk about that in a second. But I found out that he enjoyed success in the entertainment business early, appearing in a television show in the 1990s when he was a young teenager. And as he got older, he got into acting. And of course, he is appearing on a hit TV show, Empire. And as time went on, he was interviewed by various publications wanting to know more about him. And this is something I found out. In the magazine Out, it's an LGBT publication, he said that he was on Earth to change the world. Now, I found that pretty spectacular coming from an actor. After all, they're entertaining, but are they really that deep? Now, a long time ago, I had stronger convictions about me. But I never had the attitude at his age of 36 that I could change the world. And that's because my mom and dad instilled in me that I could not change the world, but I could definitely make a difference. And you'll hear me reference that every so often in this podcast. It's online because I'm here to try to make a difference, whether small, moderate, or big. So with that, I looked at the background of Jesse Smollett and his parents. Good working parents in Southern California, although he said something about his dad that I thought was interesting, and that was that his father wasn't home a lot when he was growing up. So I wondered, did his parents separate, get divorced? No. His parents, or his dad at least, was just hardworking and worked a lot of hours and wasn't at home because of that. And is that a particularly bad thing? And I don't think it is. Because it sets an example to young people what you should do. I mean, I think most kids want to emulate their parents. If I'm wrong, tell me so. Comment on my website. But I think kids want to emulate their parents. And I don't know if Jesse Smollett's parents told him he could change the world, but that's what he stated in Out magazine. And there lies the problem, is that too many people of his generation think they are bigger and more important than they really are. Jesse Smollett's an actor. He knows he's seen by millions of people. But does that mean he can change an audience? No. There are bigger people before him. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, just to name a couple. They didn't change the world. They made a bigger difference in the world than most people, but they didn't change the world. It's impossible to change the world because the world is different to everybody. Now, that was what I originally thought when Jussie Smollett was arrested a couple of weeks ago. And I wanted to publish a podcast episode of my thoughts about it, but I stopped for some reason. Something in my mind told me, wait a minute, there's more. And sure enough, a couple of days later, it came out in California U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein's office, an encounter she had with school-age children.
We are trying to ask you to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We have our own Green New Deal.
Some scientists have said that we have 12 years to turn this around.
Well, it's not going to get turned around in 10 years. What we can do,
Senator, if
is
this
put
doesn't get turned
ourselves-
around in 10 years, you're looking at the faces of the people who are going to be living with these
Guess what?
consequences.
The government is supposed to be for the people and by the people and all
You know
for the
what's
people.
interesting about this group is I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway. I don't respond to that. I've gotten elected. I just ran. I was elected by almost 1 million vote plurality. And I know what I'm doing. So, maybe people should listen a little bit.
I hear what you're saying, but we're the people who voted you. You're supposed to listen to us. That's your
How old are
your
you?
job.
How old
I'm
are you?
16. I
Well,
can't
you didn't vote for me.
Well,
I'm 24.
voted.
It doesn't matter. We're the ones who's going to be
Words mean
impacted.
something.
It doesn't matter. We're going to be the ones who are impacted.
I understand that. I have 7 grandchildren. I understand it very well.
Senator, the cost of
And-
not taking this action is far higher than the cost of what the Green New Deal will be. And there
Here's
is
what-
enormous popularity for this bill around
Okay.
the whole country.
Here's
And we're
what
asking you to
we
be
are
brave
proposing.
and do this for us and for your grandchildren.
Get enough for everyone. I'm trying to do the best I can, which was to write a responsible resolution.
Any plan that doesn't
has-
take bold,
Okay.
transformative action is not going to be what we need.
We need
Well,
your
you know
leadership.
better than I do.
don't
So
you
I think one day you should run for the Senate.
Wow. If I ever talked like that to a U.S. Senator and my parents found out about it, I'd be over my dad's knee getting a spanking, no matter what age I was. And there lies the problem, parents. One, they had to give permission for these kids to go to the office. But you know that some of these parents, not all of them, but some of them probably said, hey, I want you to take this message to them. And then there's the teachers. Now, that's a topic for another episode. Where do the teachers play in this role? But we want to focus on the parents. These kids just talk back to the senator like she didn't matter. You know what? I salute Senator Feinstein. Those of you who know me well know that I have very little agreement with her on most topics and policies. But this time, she's right. She does know better. She does know what she's doing. She's been around the block. She knows the process. She knows how to accomplish things. And these outsiders come into her office and act like she's an idiot and that they know everything. I am so proud of what she said. I'm so proud of Senator Feinstein for standing up and just back-talking them. And what's amazing about this is that the immediate reaction to from people about this episode was they took the kid's side and not her side. I mean, it was amazing. I looked online at all the comments that she was disrespectful. Nothing about the respect that these kids didn't show her. After all, they were guests in her office. And let's not get into this argument that taxpayers pay for her office, therefore we can do whatever we want. BS. You walk into her office, you're a guest in her office, you show her the respect that she's earned. And these kids didn't do it. And these kids didn't learn respect from their parents. Case closed. So back to Jesse Smollett. Good luck, pal. You've got a lot to overcome. 2 charges of faking 2 hate crimes. Good luck with that. If you're a parent, you should take this to heart, because I think this pushed a lot of people over the edge. This Jesse Smollett incident, faking hate crimes to draw attention to himself. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you would, please comment on your thoughts. Do you think parents today are lazy and not rearing their kids right? Or do you disagree with me and say, hey, these kids have a right to act the way they want to? Well, that's all for right now. Join us in the future for another episode. I promise to broadcast more frequently. I took my time on this one because I wanted to make sure the message was solid. But I've also been busy lately with my beloved pet cat, Samantha, 18 and a half years old. And she's reached the December of her life. And I've been there daily to comfort her. And I know she has me in her corner, and I hope you have someone in your corner in your time of need. So think of good thoughts for Samantha. She's been a great companion to me, and you're a great companion just for listening. I'm Scott Simon. Simon Says, saying so long from the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.